welcome to my little corner. In this video, I'm gonna be reviewing the two most recent books from Christina Lauren, and that is My Favorite Half Nightstand and The Honeymooners. So this is gonna be like some kind of battle between the same author, and let's find out which book is better. Have you read any of these books before? If you did, please leave a comment down below and tell me what you thought of them. And if you read both of them, then let me know which one you liked better. So Christina Lauren is actually a duo of two authors, and they just write books together. And a friend of mine is the one that got me hooked to Christina Lauren. I didn't know about them before. I got hooked. But the genre that Christina Lauren fall into is kind of like romance, but kind of like steamy romance. Just be aware there's a lot of steamy scenes in it, but overall they're super fun. So I'm gonna get started by reviewing the Unhoneymooners. First of all, I like to say that the cover for this book truly depicts the inside of the book. Like, this is the perfect summer book. The cover is super tropical. This is a perfect romantic comedy. I loved it from beginning to end. It is so much fun, it is light, and it is just laugh out loud funny. So to give you a quick summary of what the book is about, so there are two twin sisters in the book. One of them is Olive, which is the main character in the book, and the other sister is getting married, and Olive is the maid of honor. Now, in the wedding, everyone gets food poisoning, which it might sound like very tragic, but it's actually really fun in the book. Olive and the groom's brother, Ethan, are the only two people in the wedding that did not eat, so they're the only ones that did not get food poisoning. Now, Olive and Ethan have kind of like a hate relationship. They hate each other, and because everyone got food poisoning, now her sister told her that she should take the honeymoon vacation. So the honeymoon is in Maui, Hawaii, and they can't go because they have food poisoning. So Olive and Ethan end up going to the honeymoon instead of the bride and groom. So, but they have to pretend that they're married, that they're in their honeymoon, that they're in love. So they go to the honeymoon, and it is just full of adventures. They do a ton of activities, and they have this hate relationship that turns into a love relationship. So in Maui, they go through so much, and they start to realize that it's not that hard to pretend that they're in love, because they're actually having feelings for each other. So it is such a light romantic comedy. There's hate to love relationships. There's all these adventures in Maui. There's all these obstacles, people that come in their way in Maui, so it is truly super fun. There's also a lot of takeaways that you can take from this book, like lessons that you can take away from it. For example, Olive has this thing where she believes in luck extremely. So she's always like, well, I'm super unlucky and everything bad happens to me because I'm super unlucky, and that's just how I am. Right? And then her twin sister, she says, is the lucky one, and she's the one that gets everything. She wins everything. Olive basically assumes that she's unlucky and nothing good happens to her. Her sister is the lucky one and everything good happens to her, and that's just how it is. And then on this trip, she starts to realize that that's not really how it works, and it's just her mentality. Because she's always saying that she's unlucky, she kind of doesn't take responsibility for anything that she does or anything that happens to her, because she just blames it on luck. It also teaches you that what you think others think of you is not the same as what they actually do think of you. So you can't really assume like everyone hates you, or you can't assume somebody feels or thinks a certain way about you, because you don't know what they think. So you shouldn't assume things, because maybe those people might surprise you and it might actually be the complete opposite of what you're thinking. Certainly a lot of things to think about, and honestly, it is the perfect read. It is honestly a perfect book. I would not change anything in this book. I love it that much. And obviously I'm gonna give it 5 stars because it is awesome, guys. And now I'm gonna talk about my favorite half nightstand. So this one This was also good, but not as good. It was fun, but not as fun. So this book is about, there's these 5 friends and they all work in the same university but different departments, and they're like the best of friends. They're always together doing things together. They have this group chat that's really fun actually, where you actually see them texting. I like how when you're reading these text messages, there's actually a little image of what they look like, but it's kind of cartoonish, but it's just really fun because you can kind of, it helps you to imagine what they actually look like. So in this 5 group of friends, only one of them is a girl, and she's called Millie, and she's still part of the guys. She does everything with the guys, so she's just part of the gang. And in this university, there happens to be an event where they have to bring a +1. So because there's only one girl in that group, they kind of can't really match up with each other. So they decide to try online dating apps to find a +1 for that event. But in the middle of all of that, Millie and one of the guys that's called Reed, they actually kind of have a thing for each other, and they're the ones that end up having a one-night stand or half a night stand. And so they end up having this weird relationship where, you know, they already slept together, but now they're like, well, let's pretend that did not happen and let's be friends, but then that happens again. So there are a few problematic things with this book. There are things that I guess I wouldn't really agree with the book, or didn't think it was right with this book. Overall, I still enjoyed it. It was still fun. There's these conversations with a group of friends and their interactions together, and it's interesting to see that in this group of friends, each one of them is so different. But let me get into what's problematic with this book. One of the problems that I had with Millie is that she doesn't talk about herself. She doesn't talk about her life, even though these are her friends, and basically they supposedly talk about everything, right? But she doesn't talk about her family, her past, anything about her. She keeps everything super superficial. She doesn't go deep at all. So she's a very tight, closed book. And that at some point, like, it's okay, but at some point I guess it starts to get annoying. Like, open up a little bit. These are your friends, and if you can't talk to them, then who can you talk to, right? And then the other problem with Millie is that she does something that's very sucky of her. So while they're creating all of these dating profiles, she creates this fake account where at the beginning it's not really a fake account, but indirectly it is, and you will know when you read the book. But basically the group of friends, when they look at that profile, they cannot tell that it's her. So it ends up being fake, and she just goes along with it like, yeah, that's not her, that's another person. So with that fake account, she starts messaging Reed, and she's basically trying to catfish Reed, where she's trying to find out if he has feelings for her, Millie. But the thing is, Reed doesn't know that that's Millie. So Reed gets in this situation where he kind of has feelings for Millie because they kind of slept together a few times, but because Millie doesn't talk about feelings or anything deep, he doesn't know what she feels about him or where that's gonna go. And then because of the dating profiles, there's this other girl that he's talking to, and he's kind of torn because he doesn't know if he goes with Millie or if he just gives up on that and tries someone else. But then there's this fake account that's also Millie, but he doesn't know that it's her. So in his mind, he's torn between 3 people. He doesn't know where to go and who to pursue. So it is very sucky to see that, you know, Millie is supposed to be Reed's best friend and maybe even more, but she ends up making this decision of catfishing in these fake accounts and these lies, and instead of just being open and telling him how she feels and talk about what are they going to do about it. And then there's also a problem with Reed where he he's in the middle of these three people, right? So even though it's actually only two people, but he doesn't know that. So he's in the middle of these three, and he keeps like going to one, and then he goes to another, and then another, and it's just very sucky because he can't make up his mind. And because of that, the whole love story between Millie and Reed, which is supposed to be the main love story in the book, it's not a fairy tale whatsoever. It doesn't feel romantic at all. There's nothing special about that relationship. The only thing that you are gonna end up thinking about it is this relationship has no future and this is just bad overall. It's really not that great a love story. And now that I think about it, even at the end of the book, the event at the university never even happened. I don't remember the event happening. Or maybe they just didn't go because of all the drama that ended up happening. But yeah, there was no event. So there are some problematic things with this book. I guess you could say it might be a personality thing or values. Going against your own values and your own personality. Maybe that's why some people, including myself, might have problems with it. But despite of all of that, I still have to say that I enjoyed it somewhat, where I enjoyed their conversations, their interactions with each other, especially when they were talking in text messages. I always think that's fun. So I still enjoyed it, but after reading the Unhoneymooners, I just expected a lot more. So for this book, I'm gonna give it a 3.5/4. And obviously in this battle of Christina Lauren, the Unhoneymooners is obviously the winner. This book is perfect. So that is it for this video. Did you enjoy it? Have you read these books? Please leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of them. And if you read both of them, let me know which one is better for you. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.